Conversation Hour. We're a little late tonight, so we switched it up a bit. It's going to be a little late night special. It's very a special show. I have a guest co-host, Sakara Renee. Everybody say what's up, Sakara.
What's up?
I have a very, very, very special guest tonight, Diamond the model, 21 years old from New York City. Everybody say what's up, Diamond.
Hey.
Tonight's topic of discussion is model behavior. Everybody asks, what is this topic about? It's basically about how women are perceived and the perception that's given for anyone that's trying to move up in the industry. I put up pictures of Diamond because I wanted to see what questions y'all would add. It's the same rules as usual. She has no idea what's going to be asked. She only knows about the topic of discussion. She's completely on the spot. So as usual, the questions go to Diamond first. Anything that y'all have to ask or any statements, please leave in the comments and we will get to them. Do you have anything you want to say?
Looking forward to the question.
It's lit. Okay, I'm going to ask the first question. We're going to go back and forth. Diamond, where are you from? What's your ethnicity and your background?
Okay, I am from Harlem. My ethnicity, my father is Guyanese and Asian, and my mother is Trinidadian and Native American. I was born and raised in Harlem. I don't really travel. I don't really go places. I have family that lives in Georgia and Florida, but I rarely ever.
All black people. We all got somebody
rarely,
down there.
Rarely. But that's it.
Okay.
So, how old were you when you initially first started modeling?
My first fashion show I was 11. My mother models.
Oh,
so,
your mother, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it runs in the family. Heard that.
My mother models, so she got me and my sisters into it. So I've been doing runway since I was 11, and I started taking it seriously last year.
Oh, that's
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got comfortable in your skin first. It took time. I understand.
Who was the first person you told you wanted to model? Was it your mom or?
It was my mother, definitely, because she does fashion shows all the time, and I just let her know that I wanted to try it out, and because she's such a good model and she's so known, people were just open to giving me a chance to do it, and it's something that I love. So
That's good.
So, besides your mom, because I feel like you're going to say your mom for this question, who inspired you? Like, you know, our parents, when we're young, they tell us that they want us to do certain things, and they give us the idea, but is modeling something that you wanted to do? Like, who inspired you? Who really wanted to make you continue modeling, besides the fact that when you were young, you were doing it?
That's kind of hard because it really is only my mother. It really is only my mother.
So, like, when you're young, you're supposed to be, like, you have your tomboyish days and stuff like that. You just went straight into modeling. You're like, you know what, this is what it is, and I like this, and I can get comfortable doing this.
Yeah, I'm my mother's first child.
Okay.
So I was super spoiled as a child. So I don't think it wasn't until I even got to high school that I even ventured with being more laid back and more tomboyish, because I was young walking around with princess tiaras, and I had princess stuff all over my room, so it just is natural.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You basically answered the next question. What was your first fashion shoot like?
My first photo shoot was the shoot that went viral. The shoot where I had my see-through bra on with the strawberry. That was my first shoot ever. Ever.
How recent was that?
Last year in March.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a year.
Oh, that's good.
So, do you feel like modeling made you a different person? Like, it has made your personality different from how most girls are? Like, it makes you stand out compared to every other girl?
Yeah, I think the photo shoots and everything is what makes me stand out. But I've always been a very loud, very outgoing person, and I use that and the platform that I have to empower females. And that's why I take pictures the way that I do. So, like, the have no pictures and, you know, the really, like, provocative shoots, I do that as a sense of empowerment. And, you know, a lot of people look at it and, you know, like, oh, you know, she's a slut, she's a thought. I got called that a couple times. But I just wanted a lot of females to feel comfortable, because I was comfortable. And a lot of females hit me up on a regular, like, you know, you made me feel comfortable. I look up to you. And that's really what I do it for. So.
But for those, like, negative remarks, How do you go about that? Because I know when you first read it, and it's like if you personally know yourself and people that personally know you, they know the type of person you are. So you modeling, it's like you don't have to necessarily be that person. You're just enjoying what you do. You love what you do. So how did it make you feel when you first saw a negative remark?
So being, and it's gonna sound so cocky, but being pretty, I've had a lot of females through high school and just period just talk about me. So it's something that I was used to, but it wasn't until I put up the strawberry shoot, which I did the shoot probably like a Friday, and I didn't post it up until like Monday because I was contemplating whether I wanted that kind of attention, but I ended up putting it up anyway, and it went viral. And a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people didn't, and it got so many shares. And I seen the comments of people who didn't like it, and it kind of bothered me. But it was so much more love than it was hate. So I was able to not focus on it. My mom was more upset about it than I was. So it's just like I'm used to it now. But at first it kind of freaked me out a little bit.
How was with the family thing? I know that's a big issue. Your family members, your dad, your uncles, your brothers, everybody's seeing it. Yeah. What did everybody feel about the strawberry shoot?
Well, my dad, when he seen it, he just was like, it's a nice picture. He's like, but are you sure when we put out there like that? I told him, yeah. Told him, also I had some time to think about, putting it up, and he was fine with it. My grandfather had just added me on Facebook, and he just was like, no, you're not supposed to be showing your titties like that. And I mean, he gave me a little talk, but then at the same time, he was like, you're grown, what can I really tell you? And he also just was like, just make sure this is the kind of attention that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, so I went with it, and that was just like the beginning. I just kept doing shoots that were better, but they were more provocative than that one.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
Who can you compare yourself to as a model? If anyone.
Do you have like a favorite models you look up to, like Tyra or anybody like that?
When I was younger, nobody could tell me that I was not going to be a Victoria's Secret model. So I looked up to Tyra for one because she was, African American, but also Adriana Lima because she joined Victoria's Secret when she was 18, and she's like in her 30s now with a child. So I feel like I watched her grow up. I'm just like in love with her. So them two definitely Tyra though, but above all.
Did you ever think about trying out for America's Next Top Model?
I thought about it. After I graduated high school, I thought about it, but I kind of chickened out. And then watching this season, the last 3 episodes, at the end they had, we're casting now, sending your videos, and I keep saying that I'm gonna do it, but I'm kind of scared to do it.
You shouldn't hold back.
You should do it.
Yo, I was so mad when I watched this season. They're in New York.
Yeah, they're in New York. Tatiana should have won, but it's okay.
So, what genre of modeling would you consider yourself like? I know you're not gonna say conservative, but how would you describe it?
How would I?
What genre would your modeling be considered?
A lot of, even though I hate the term, a lot of photographers classify me as vixen. When I think vixen, I think of superhead.
Oh my God!
I hated that term, but I understand where it's coming from because I know models like Blac Chyna or Amber Rose are considered vixens, and then also Amber Rose has the slut shaming walk and all that stuff. So I kind of warmed up to the term, even though I kind of don't like it because, like I said, I think of superhead. So
I'm not gonna lie, hearing vixen automatically, I think about that.
Right.
But what would you, if the photographers didn't place you in a category, what would you place yourself?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I always thought it was very modern, honestly, because I feel like a lot of people are more comfortable in their skin nowadays. It just so happens that I just happen to go viral because I'm not the first person to do a shoot like that.
True.
So I think it's very modern, honestly.
What's a message you would give to young girls entering the model game?
To be careful and do your research. A lot of females would come up to me and they would ask me how I got into it, and I feel like they think I'm lying or I'm not trying to give them all of the advice that I could when I tell them that I really don't have, tips, because my mom modeled and she just got me into it. I didn't have to go through the castings and all that other stuff. Any job that she got, I got. Any time she said, all right, I want my daughter in it, I was in it. I never really, really had to work hard to get into it. So I heard stories about how my mom got into it, so that's how I can kind of give advice. Just be careful because there are a lot of fake photographers out there, and then on top of that, there's a lot of people now that can just buy a nice camera and just take pictures with a sheet backdrop. I've seen it all the time, and and also photographers will have females just doing anything and call it art. Like, just do your research. That's all I have to say. Like, just really, really do your research on who you're working with, ask to see their work, and I usually don't work with any photographers that don't have a studio. Even if they are very professional and they have a good camera, they know what they're doing. If they don't have a studio, I usually do not work with them.
Drop them jewels, Diamond. So we have any questions?
You seem to have great personality. Any thoughts of crossing over to like acting, stuff like that?
Yeah, I definitely do want to act. That was even before modeling, because modeling was something that started off as just like a hobby. It wasn't something that I really wanted to make it into a career at first. But now doing it and loving it, I want to. But before that, I always wanted to act. My mom would take me to like acting classes. I actually auditioned to be Nala in Lion King. And the lady had pulled me to the side. With my mom to the side. I was with my mom. And she was like, she's so great, she's so pretty, voice is so nice, but she's too tall. I think Nala had to be like 5'3", 5'4". And I was like,
maybe perception.
Because the costume, they made a certain type of costume for Nala.
Oh, is it for like Broadway?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they made a certain type of costume for Nala. So
that would have been great.
Right? I remember I was like 5. My mom had took me to audition for a Skippy's peanut butter commercial. And I had the lines down. I learned the lines quick, but I was nervous because they had you stand in front of everyone who was auditioning. And I was just like quiet and like rocking back and forth. So another time they pulled mom aside. She got the words right, because I had to be 4 or 5, so I was young. But they were just like, she's just very, closed in. And there were other kids there that were just, so loud and really bright. So I've auditioned for a couple things, but I feel like now, because I'm way more comfortable in my skin and what I'm doing, I would be able to book something. But I just haven't tried. So my focus right now is just really on this modeling.
Okay.
Just a try.
Do you feel that you have to play a role? Because women that are into modeling, they feel like they have to sell their souls and stuff like that. Do you feel like you have to play a role, even though you're not where you are trying to be yet? But do you feel like you have to play a role for aspiring models?
Yes and no. I want to say no because I like to do my own thing. I like to make my own rules and bend it however I want to. But then also I have to remember that there's certain things that I won't post or certain things that I won't say on like Snapchat or on my social media period, because I know that I want to be that voice of empowerment for females. So there was like for instance when I'm gonna post it up at the strawberry shoot, there was a female that was just going so hard, calling me a thought. It was crazy. So then a lot of my friends were arguing with her and they would be like calling each other bitches back and forth, and I didn't really want to get into it with her because I felt like if I did, because she was degrading me, so my defense would have been to try to degrade her as well. But then it's just like, I don't want to do that because that's a female, and my whole thing is women empowerment, so then I would be contradicting. So it's certain things like that. Like I would just watch what I post for reasons like that. But other than that, I usually try to do my own thing.
That's tough. Did you know her, or was it just a random person?
Random person.
Does that usually happen with people? Oh, God.
Usually,
Yes.
now because I have such a large following,
Mhm.
it's usually random people. It's mostly random people because a lot of people that I don't know, like on my old Facebook before I got deleted, I had like 25,000 followers, and I don't know 25,000. So it's a lot of random people.
Do we have any questions in the comments?
Would you ever consider doing Playboy?
When I was younger, I considered it. My stepfather had a bunch of Playboy magazines, and I thought they were so pretty. But that is just why I wanted it then. I wouldn't do it now because, all right, there's a photographer, and I don't want to say his name, but he, in his mind, he thinks he's Hugh Hefner, and he has a bunch of pretty females, and they have sex with him on Snapchat, and he like degrades them and all of that, and he wanted me to join the team. So some pretty much like Playboy, like a modern Playboy. And but the thing was he makes a lot of money, and he flies these females out all the time. He buys these females apartments. They dress nicely. They don't have to work. All they have to do is, have sex with him, treat him right, massage him, whatever, cook for him. And he wanted me to join the team, and he gets them in magazines, all this other stuff. They meet celebrities. So that part of it sounds good, but then knowing that he want me to have sex with him and all the other stuff is just degrading, and that goes against the role that I'm trying to have as far as women empowerment. So Playboy is not something that I would want to do now. So, because I feel like it's pretty much the same thing. Just Hugh Hefner is a white guy, and that photographer guy is a black man.
Do you feel like most women have to sell their souls to get to the top of the industry?
I feel like most women feel like they have to. I don't feel like anyone has to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of people don't want to put in that work, or they are putting in that work, but they're not patient enough for it to, for the results to show.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like no one has to. If a female does, it's because she either doesn't want to put the work in, or she's not patient enough to watch how everything plays out. I'm very patient to watch how everything plays out, and because I've been doing it for so long, and I'm so comfortable in what I'm doing, and I'm really good with networking, I wouldn't, and I feel bad for anyone who does, because I know a lot of females who do.
And I think that's the perception that a lot of women feel, that not so much that a lot of women feel they have to, but I think society makes you think oh, if she's let's take Nicki Minaj for example. A lot of people feel like, oh, she's so close with Wayne and Drake, she had to. Mm-hmm. But if she's saying she's not, 9 times out of 10, most people don't believe that. Mm-hmm. Why can't it be the fact Lil Wayne was like, oh, she has talent, she's dope, I'm gonna put her on. I think a lot of people don't think that, and I think we all need to change that because it's kind of whack.
Right. And then there's even you hear people say all the time all Kim did was make a sex tape, now she's popping. So people have people like that they look up to, and they're just oh, well, all she did was do this, and
Mm-hmm.
now she has all this. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it was going to happen anyway, because her parents were so into it with other celebrities, and she had connections with Paris Hilton. So even if it didn't happen, it probably wouldn't have happened as quickly because of the sex tape, but I feel like it was going to happen anyway. And then I don't know, that's it's hard to talk about.
That's a question I asked today to see where everybody's head was at. I asked, what's the difference between Kim Kardashian and Beyonce? First of all, because y'all all had a heart attack, I love Beyonce. I am a Beyonce fan since 7 years old. I love Beyonce. I love Beyonce. But really, I asked that question because a lot of people feel that, oh, Kim Kardashian wouldn't be here without the sex tape. If you watch Kim's show, or if you know anything, just reading a magazine, her work ethic is A1.
Exactly.
Beyonce's a workaholic. She's actually a workaholic as well. Mm-hmm. The sex tape, it is what it is.
Right.
Smart as
just
society.
made a platform.
It just made a platform.
But
But anyway,
you shouldn't have to sell yourself short to make a platform. There's other ways you could go about it to make a platform.
but do you feel Kim sold her soul?
You could, First of all, it's not like you couldn't have gotten your name out there. You was doing the surgery. You was making yourself look better. You could have did the modeling. You dress good. You stay up to par. You have your show. You don't need a sex tape to put yourself out there.
But none of that happened before the sex tape.
Oh,
right?
exactly. The sex tape made her a platform. All that work ethic, you could have put in the work ethic to make a platform. You don't have to have sex on
But do you
camera.
feel Kim sold her soul?
Yes, she did. You don't have to. Why would you do that?
I don't think she sold her soul off the simple fact that it's not like she was having sex with somebody random.
Alright,
That
that's
was her
okay.
man. That's her man. Period. That's her man. And it got out there. I'm not 100% sure if she put it out there or anything like that. But
Honestly, no offense. I like Kim K fashion wise and the way she. Not even gonna say the way she carries herself. However, you
wait, let's pause real quick. How does Kim Kardashian carry herself?
She doesn't carry herself bad, but it's like that is certain things. It's like this. Certain things will always follow you. If you leak a sex tape, it's always gonna follow you. No matter if you change for the better, no matter you see how Chris Brown he beat Rihanna years ago. He changed. He's on a better platform, but still, it'll always follow him. He could be doing the greatest things in the world, but in the comments, it's always gonna say, "Oh, you woman beater," or something like that. It's always going to follow you. And eventually, you knew you were going to be a mom. Why would you? It's like you're making a platform for women. Yes, it's probably a lot of women that don't feel comfortable showing themselves because they feel like, oh, guys are going to say these type of things. But it's like, you don't have to be that person. You don't have to make a platform. Oh, yeah, let me leak my sex tape. Kim Kardashian is about publicity. That's a fact.
But in the same strength, that's like saying, did Amber Rose sell her soul? Because Amber Rose and Blac Chyna, because they showed everything. And now they're A1. They had everything.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. You don't have to do that.
But did they sell their soul?
You
That's my whole thing.
y'all did.
If Kim, so all of them sold their soul. If you say that, then you can't just say Kim sold her soul and everybody else didn't.
I like Amber Rose. I do. Blac Chyna, she got some ways about her. She's getting it how she get it. Team Petty, whatever. But at the end of the day, y'all sold y'all souls. Y'all have this same work. If y'all have a really good work ethic, why do y'all have to take a shortcut to get to where you need to be? If you're gonna be this humble person, if you're gonna be this person, you can get there. You don't have to have sex. You can have sex with someone, but you don't have to leak the tape. You don't, yeah, you're gonna be proud of it. Oh, it's out there. But you don't have to do that to build the platform. That's always gonna follow you. You want to be remembered for something else. You don't want to be remembered. Oh yeah, I was taking that. You don't want to be remembered for that. You don't want to be remembered for that.
So porno stars sell their soul?
Yes, to make some money. Yes.
So strippers sell their soul?
Yes. It's like this. It's like this. You're having fun, but you're selling your soul. You don't have to do that. If this is who you really are, and you're comfortable in your sin and your skin, and when you look in the mirror at yourself, you're okay with that, then that's different. But if you are these are people that are trying to branch out into other things. You sold your soul. You had sex, you made a tape. Sex is regular. You made a tape, you leaked it, it got where it's at, and now, oh yeah, I want to act, I want to do this. You don't have to build that platform.
No, I don't understand. Let me say what I don't understand. Say I'm having sex with my man. Me and him break up, and he leaks it.
But that's not what
But
happened.
No, wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
And he leaks it. It's only something, y'all didn't know who she was. Y'all only said something because that's Brandy's brother. If that wasn't Brandy's brother, that would have been regular. It would have been regular. Would that have been selling her soul? I had sex with my man. He recorded me. There was no camera crew there. I didn't keep my media on. I didn't do any of that.
No, but that's different. You own the fact you own the fact.
We don't know that she.
No.
I'm not buying
It's like
that.
this. At the end of the day, that could have possibly happened. You own the fact that yes, I was doing something private with my boyfriend, and this is what happened. She didn't own it that way.
Did you see it?
I did see the video.
Okay, so for everybody that's seen it, does it look like they had a camera crew?
No, like
It's
they
not
recorded
about having
themselves,
a
but she
camera.
leaked it.
Exactly.
It's about.
But you don't know
about
if Ray was petty and posted.
But he wasn't.
But
He came out and said that plenty of times.
At the
And
end
she
of
never
the day,
denied the
you
fact
gotta
that
let
she
that go.
was-
Lost that argument, kid.
Anyway, Timon.
They sued her in court. And,
Is there a
and
question?
actually won.
It looks like we have a question.
Do we have a question?
Yes, we do have a question. So you said she sold her soul. She sold her soul, or people sell their soul when they do such things as that.
People sell their souls.
Okay.
What's the next
So
one?
I heard of people saying that they wanted to be a porn star at 12, 13. Hold on. 12, 13, 15. That means that person sold his soul?
No,
No, that's not what she's saying.
that's not what I mean.
That's not what she's saying.
Here's the thing. What I'm saying is, if that's who you wanted to be, if that's who you like envisioned yourself being, then that's different. But if you, I want to become poppin'. I need to figure out how to become poppin'. Let me leak this tape. It gets popular, and then you want to try to branch out to other things.
It's like cheating.
You're trying to cheat.
But I have
You're
a
making a
problem with
shortcut.
that. You don't know if they do that. Oh, I want to be popping.
But
that's not the main.
But that's like saying Beyonce doing something like that to get to where she is. She worked hard. You see how you started at a young
Yeah, you
age.
can't take shortcuts.
You build your platform. You don't have to sell yourself. You don't have to. It's like this. If you start off when you're young, like Chris Brown, Beyonce, y'all start off playing kiddie music, yeah, and then you branch out into, and you venture out into, oh yeah, I need to start making adult music for my age. You don't have to have, you can have sex, but everyone doesn't need to know that you have a video and this is what you was doing in the video. You don't have to do that. That's selling your soul. That's making a shortcut to get to where you need to be, where people work hard every day to get to where they need to be.
Ladies,
I agree.
it's okay.
You're not gonna win that argument.
I'll do it.
No, but here's the thing. You see,
Oh my God.
Her mother put her in modeling from the age 11. She does sexy pictures now. It took her a while to get comfortable with it, but it's not like, oh yeah, I want to be a porn star. I want to do this. No, she could have had the opportunity to do.
But is
what
Kim
after
showing
that.
her having sex? Everything to me is art. Real
She
life is
changed
art.
now.
That doesn't mean because I had sex with my man and all of y'all seen it that I wanted to be a porn star or I sold my soul. Everybody does sex tape. How is this making me poppin'? That's because it's Brandy's brother. That's the
No,
only
it's
reason
not.
I care. How many
It's
of y'all?
not about
How many of y'all
Brandy's
knew that
brother.
was
It's
Kim?
about-
How many of y'all
It's
knew who
not
she
about-
was? I didn't know who she was.
It's not
That was
about
10 years ago. I was
Brandy's
17. I
brother.
didn't know who she was.
It's not about
Who
Brandy's
was she?
brother.
I didn't know her.
It's not about that. She made a platform for herself.
Which is
The
true.
platform has nothing to do with Ray J.
I'm not buying it,
It
guys.
has nothing.
Sorry.
You have a question? Go ahead.
No, I don't have a question. I gotta agree with you what you said. I don't know if y'all knew, but Lawrence Fishburne's daughter,
I think I heard
She's
something
a
about
porn star.
she did porn to become like the next Kim Kardashian,
Didn't work out.
and that was pretty much like she's not popular. Everybody know who Lawrence Fishburne is, but she did it, and now it was actually a professional tape, and she got nothing out of it.
But that doesn't make sense to me. That's like saying because you saw me do something, doesn't matter if that was my intent of doing it. You did it because I did it and you thought it was gonna be the same for you. That doesn't make sense to me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The problem comes when this happens. Like when you put something out with the intentions on it being great, with the intentions on it putting you out there, with the intentions on it exposing you to another crowd of people for your gain, that's when it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like people have sex every day, people record it every day, but when you trying to put it out there for that, that's cheating. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you are really undermining everybody that really put the time in, really put the work in to get exactly where you're trying to go. Ain't no shortcuts in this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
I
You
appreciate
don't have to
everything
do
you guys
that.
saying.
Yeah, just like agree to disagree.
Famous and rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're making
Well,
you're doing
you shouldn't
shortcuts.
glorify the
Don't
shortcut.
matter, they rich. we
Yeah.
broke.
That's
You
what
didn't
I'm
care
saying.
about it.
I agree with
You're gonna
that.
do what you do, but
You're
you
gonna do
shouldn't
what you do,
glorify the
but what I'm
shortcut.
saying is you do not. This is for aspiring
Right.
models. You do not have to sell your soul. You don't
Right.
have to have sex as long as you be true to yourself. If this is something you love doing, then do that. Work. You have to have plan A, plan B, plan C to make that dream happen. Not no alternatives. Oh, if this don't work, I'm gonna go another route. No, you have to find different ways to make that work. You don't have to have a sex tape to get your stuff out there, to make a platform, to then, oh, Leia, let me venture out into this. You don't have to do that. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
But go ahead.
Just to like get off that a little bit.
Not wait.
Like, what would you tell, like, because you say you're very comfortable and everything. What would you tell, like, the female that's not that comfortable, or like the young girl who looks up to you and admires you for your strength and your courage? Like, but don't have that yet? Like, what would you say there?
Well, because I'm for women empowerment and you feeling comfortable in your skin, it's not necessarily me saying, okay, you can do what I do and it's going to be okay. It's just be comfortable in your skin, whatever that may be. If you want to walk around with 1,000 different colors on, or if you want to walk around bald, or however you are comfortable in your skin, that's just what it's for. And I'm comfortable in my skin and showing it off, and someone may be comfortable in their skin doing something else. So it's just being comfortable, period, no matter what it is that you're doing.
Gotcha.
And that's for anything, not just for models. It's just any department.
I have a question for Darren. Your mother still model?
Yes. Yes, she does.
How does that work out?
She actually had not taken a break, but she wasn't modeling as much because she was managing at Applebee's, and I took most of her time. But now that she's not with Applebee's anymore, it's been a month now. She's been doing photo shoots like every other day. So she's right back into it now. And we have yet to do a shoot together, and we need to do a shoot together. We need to do a shoot together. But yeah, it works out. And then she's with my stepfather, who is okay with her being a model, and he's okay with her because she doesn't take photos the way that I do, because I feel like my photos are very vulgar, but it's something similar, and he's okay with knowing that, there's a man behind the camera, and that's the kind of like relationship I'm trying to have. Yeah, that's how I'm trying to.
Okay. Which brings me.
These questions were asked by other people. The first half of it was me,
Okay.
but everything else is from other people.
Okay.
Okay, which brings me to
Get the
my
secret.
next question. What is your relationship status?
I am in a relationship.
And how is that working? Is he supportive of this? Like, do you guys have arguments about, like, oh, why are you showing this? Like, how does that work? How does it work out?
He is supportive. He's very supportive. We actually had an argument not too long ago about a shoot that I had done and I had put up. I was basically it was like a story. The photographer, his work is called Room 3A, and basically it's women who go to Room 3A, whether it's, I guess in your mind it could be like a hotel, where they go to unwind. So each picture, it like tells a story. So my story was, I'm coming in after a long day, I have my glass of wine, I'm chilling. I put up the pictures in sync on Instagram. So you see I have one white button down and it was open, I didn't have anything on underneath, and I had a glass of wine. And he wasn't okay with that. Someone actually had hit him up and told him like, yo, look at your girl's Instagram, and he was just like, something to delete it, and I did. But we had a whole argument about it because I just was like, it's not too different from the strawberry shoot, because my nipples was completely out in that. And I've done other shoots where my nipples were out, so I didn't think that it would be a problem. And he did voice that those were before him and that this is now with him. So, I mean, I guess I should have talked to him about it, but because he never said anything but only complimented the other pictures, I thought it was okay. So, I mean, that is something that we had to talk about. So I don't want to say it was an argument. It was more of a conversation that we had. So now I just know whenever I do shoots, just check in with him. See if it's okay to post it up. At the end of the day, I can put whatever I want in my portfolio, but just, for the world to see. Because, he may not be comfortable with something. I just have to be mindful of that. I don't want to be stubborn in my relationship. Like, well, I've been doing this, I'm going to keep doing this. Because a relationship is about compromise, and I'm willing to do that. So I just know now, going forward, to check in with them.
What are some ground rules that you put up front when entering a relationship about your career? Like, this is it, this is what it is.
What's funny is, and I actually haven't done this with my current boyfriend, but in past relationships, because my acting was something that I wanted to get into, I would always I watched Baggage Claim with my ex, Paula Patton was the main woman, and I had asked my ex, would you be okay with me playing a role like this? She was kissing how many different guys?
Yeah, it was a lot.
All these different sex scenes, and she's Robin Thicke's wife, so, and I always would just let them know, well, sometime in the future, I do want to be an actress, and if a role like that is presented to me, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna not take it because you're not okay with me having a love interest in front of the camera.
Mhm.
So I would talk to them about stuff like that. As far as the shoots go, the relationship that I'm in now is the first one that I've been in since I've been taking it seriously.
Okay.
So he's the first person that I ever really had to talk to about my photo shoots.
Okay.
So you wouldn't say that your modeling has had a negative effect on any of your relationships because this is the first that you actually took serious during this time.
My ex actually had a problem with the video that I did with Terrell Cox.
Terrell Cox will be on the show soon, guys.
Wow.
I had never done a video before,
Mhm.
and I had talked to my ex about it, and he kind of was like, I don't know, I have to hear the song.
Mhm.
So the first 2 lines of the song, he just was like, oh, hell no, you're not doing this video, because just the vibe of the song and the lyrics, you can tell what kind of video it was going to be. I already knew what kind of role that I was playing, so I told him he wasn't okay with it. We had to talk all night long before he was okay with it, because the video shoot was literally the very next day, and he was fine with it. And then once the video was out, he just had to, just brace himself for his friends seeing it, knowing that I'm his girlfriend and things like that. So, right.
Like you
So-
should be. I just think it's so whack how people can get in your ear instead of
Right.
that's my girl. Let me just support her. People will then change your whole perspective
Yo,
of that.
listen, can I please defend myself? That's crazy. Listen, let me tell you something.
This is
I was-
Terrell Cox speaking.
Yeah, how you doing, Terrell Cox? So yeah, listen. And she could tell you this, like, I was the most professional. I made sure she was comfortable because I got sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want nobody to put my sister in an uncomfortable, compromised position. So, I feel like you should have all the confidence in the world in your girl and in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? If that's yours, that's yours. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, support her in everything she do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? As long as everything is right, you should be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, trust her mind and trust her judgment.
Absolutely.
And it was a good video.
What's the name of the video?
It's called Private Dance.
Private Dance, Terrell Cox. Check it out, please. How is it being a model and having guys approach you before you were in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to decide that the person you're in a relationship now, he's for real and he's not trying to use you because of what you do?
It's kind of hard and it's weird because I hate to think of myself as like a celebrity because I don't think I am. I hate to think of myself as famous because I don't think I am. But in the terms of being famous, being well known, so I mean, I guess you can call me famous, but I just hate that. I guess I'm just really modest.
Right.
But I was actually like I can walk through the street sometimes people will say hi to me and know who I am and I don't know who they are, but they know me from social media. I was coming from seeing my boyfriend at his school. I was on the bus. We're in Albany. I've never been to Albany before, and I sat next to a female who knew who I was. So it's weird to separate the two, I guess. But who I'm with now, my friend put me on to him, and he didn't know who I was. Never seen any of the shoots that I've been in. I didn't know that until recently.
Oh, okay.
But also because she had put me on to him, that kind of like. It made it easier because it's just like I know she's not gonna put me on to some clown, so I was comfortable.
So, we have any questions in the comments? Nothing. Okay.
So
What is your peak? Like, what's something that you can accomplish to make you feel like, okay, I made it, or I'm happy. Like, not where you'll stop, but where you're just like damn, like, you know what I'm saying?
When I am on the cover of Vogue, I say that all the time.
I see you there, yo. I see you doing
I
everything.
say that all the time. That is my goal. Like I said, I always want to be a Victoria's Secret model, but I am short. Even though in pictures, I look tall, like because my limbs are long, my legs are long, my arms are long. But in like the model world, I think like 5'8" is even short, and I'm only 5'6".
How old are you supposed to be for modeling? Like Like 5'10"?
I think average height
5'9".
would be like 5'9", 5'10". My mom's 6 feet, so
Oh, okay.
she's great. And then also when it comes to runway, a lot of a lot of designers who make clothes just for the runway would make their clothes for longer females. Like there's been a lot of times where I would do a casting and maybe all of the designers want me to walk for them, but they don't have anything to fit me. So I go from being able to walk for 10 designers to having to only walk for 3 because I can't fit everyone else's clothes. So that's my downfall.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Question.
Okay.
Does anybody manage you, or you're like a self-manager, or does your mother play a part in everything you do?
When I
guidance?
started doing the photo shoots, taking it seriously, everything was all me. I looked up the photographers myself. People reached out to me. I did, my own research because my mom had already put me on to, the dangers of it. And of course, I would run things by her. But when I started taking it very seriously, she was really occupied with Applebee's. She didn't really have time to do much for me. So I managed myself. I did go and try to be managed by this one guy, but he wasn't really trying to manage me. He just was trying to claim that he booked me for photographers that was already hitting me up to work with me. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I booked that for her. But, no, they reached out to me. Like, you need a manager. You're supposed to go out and, find people. So it's just like he wasn't helping me. So I pretty much did my own thing.
Any other questions?
How do you manage being social and faithful? Like, how does that work? How does it play out?
Well, I feel like I'm a homebody. If I'm not home or seeing my boyfriend, I am at work. Like, I don't really do much. I do, photo shoots here and there, but I don't really go out much. Like, getting me out the house to, go to an event or go to, a lounge or a party is hard work because I just love being in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like stepping out of my relationship because I've been in so many where they've stepped out on me and I know how it feels and I wouldn't want to put someone else through that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even if I was around ball players and rappers all day, I still would be faithful to who I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That was a good answer. I like that.
Do you consider yourself a sexual person?
Yeah.
She
That was
did not
quick.
hesitate.
She said section.
Do you feel that has had a more negative or positive effect on the way you're perceived to everyone?
I guess it depends on who's perceiving me, but I don't know. I am a very sexual person, and you can, that shows all in my photos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I feel like I don't know, that's just who I am, and that's, I don't know, I like to play around with it.
Okay. We have a question.
So when it comes to sexuality, posing nude is seen as beauty now.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it if when it came to Paper Magazine or something like that?
Yeah. I always said that if I was to do nudity, completely nude, it would be very artsy, or it'll be very high energy. But I wouldn't just be posing nude just to pose nude and look crazy like how some of these females do that try to do it. But I would do it. I'm open to it.
Do you ever feel afraid of let's say you were going in for a job interview? Do you ever think in the back of your mind, shit, I hope he doesn't know who I am, or anything like that?
I've never thought that, only because every job I ever had, it was restaurants. And with restaurants, you just have to not be doing drugs, pass a drug test. So that's where I'm comfortable, and I make decent money, with the tips and everything like that. So I never really worried about that. And then when it comes to the future, in the future I plan on already just working my career, not working a 9-to-5 job where I have to even worry about that.
Right.
So
Here's one question. It says, well, are you one of those skinny models that makes yourself throw up to